Okay, and we are finally here. Roll Coverage, the home of the press conference breakdown, has finally gotten to the joint practice, or ahead of the joint practice, with our Carolina Panthers and the New York Jets. I'm absolutely pumped for it. We got a snippet from yesterday where Evero told us about how dynamic and how cerebral Aaron Rodgers is and how quickly he's able to dissect the defense. I am super excited to see the ones against the ones, and I hope you are too. I'm your host, Nick, right here at Roll Coverage. Let's go.
Hey, I thought it was all over.
Nope. They Roll Coverage. Great simulation today, right? We come off of a day off. It's like the season. You get the Tuesday off, you come back Wednesday, and we have to recapture our work ethic. The guys responded greatly there. Special teams had some good full speed reps on punt to evaluate some guys. Great team periods. We kind of had like a fringe, move the ball period at the end. Story of the day, turnovers. Defense, created another one. Shy Tuttle had one on a little scramble play, right? Just kind of snuck up, made the catch. And then I think it was Troy Hill at the end. Just got in the hip of Adam and really made a nice play there. So hard as it gets, but it's a great day of work. And I was really, again, I can't say it enough, but it's just when the guys respond to the challenges that we bring them, it says something about the group. So I love that. Had a couple of guys, Dane Jackson, hamstring tightened up a little bit in one-on-one. So we'll know more information this afternoon there. And then we had Nash Jensen had some soreness in his Achilles, but he seemed fine on the testing and all that stuff. So we should be okay there. And then it was Jackson, inside linebacker, was also a hamstring. So we'll be evaluating those guys for the next couple of days here.
Okay. So obviously you're here because you want the press conference breakdown, and I'm going to get right to it. But there's one thing I want to point out about this man. Okay. Dave Canales comes out with the intro presser breakdown or whatever he wants to give you of like the company man thing. I know that's not it, but I can't really think of a better vernacular right now. Dave Canales has so much potential with this offense, but that offense is going to need to be measurably improving. We're seeing with the Evero breakdown that I just did yesterday, Evero obviously has the defense ready to go and super excited for the season. Now, obviously, injuries are making that a little bit harder, and it's kind of showing you the issues that I've pointed out, secondary and the pass rush especially. That the linebacker room, I'm still a little worried about as well, but right now, as long as we have Josie, we're at least better than we were. So moving forwards, I'm excited about it. The joint practice is going to give a great opportunity for the ones on both sides. But Dave Canales normally comes out of here and starts this super happy. He's normally not looking down. He's normally not, yeah, man, we got these injuries and stuff like this. Now, obviously, he's probably looking down at some people below him. But when he normally delivers them, he's looking around and he's going, like, looking around. He's actively looking. I think we're getting to the point where maybe it is behind the scenes stuff, because if you guys were here last year when I was doing breakdowns of the Carolina Panthers and Frank Reich and all of that debacle, this is how the press conferences started too. The introductory press conference, man, I'm super excited. We're ready to go. All this other stuff. Then all of a sudden we get to preseason week 1, 2, 3. And then we get to week 1, 2, 3. And we see Frank Reich's eyelids start to slowly come down. And when he gets to these things, he's like, man, why do I have to do this? Basically, and I think that's where Dave is slowly getting to. I think he's realizing the massive weight that sits on the head coach's shoulders. Now, obviously, I don't want to lose the happy-go-lucky guy that we hired in Dave. And again, I picked him in December 9th, 2023. I was on the Dave Canales train more than a month before he was hired. In fact, if you're a Carolina Panthers fan, you probably heard Dave Canales from me because I did his breakdown when he was the OC of the Bucs. And one of the things that I said was, man, if he ever came the Carolina's way, I would welcome him with open arms. And that's what I've done. But I need to start seeing it on the field, and this joint practice is part of that. He's obviously going to give us a little bit more insight into this, and I am as pumped as you are. Let's go.
You sound very excited about the turnovers. How do you balance the turnovers being gotten by the defense versus being given away by the offense?
Yeah, I mean, it's us, right? So we're preaching it every day. Defensively, the stress is on attacking the football. The more opportunities we get to punch at the ball when the ball carriers, runners, whoever it is, has it, the higher percentage you have of getting one of those balls out. And then, of course, just taking advantage of our interception opportunities. We've had more opportunities in this camp, and we just didn't come up with the catches. So glad to see guys finishing on that, you know, the intent of it and the focus. And on the flip side of it, offensively, it looked like a great day. We get into the last period of it, we throw an interception early in that part, and it makes everything feel horrible, but it's like nothing's wasted. It's a great day of work, but it just goes to show how critical the ball is and why we have to continue to heighten our awareness, our execution in those areas.
Okay, so Dave Canales was just speaking to Bryce Young, okay? If you're not Bryce Young, you should not be here because Dave was talking directly to him. This offense needs to elevate, and we've added weapons. There's more than enough weapons now. Now, obviously, some might come a few weeks into the season. Some might be on some injury, but Bryce has weapons now. So if he's not able to get the job done, this could be a tough time. Now, obviously, there's already speculation that he might not even be with the team next year, and I don't agree with that. I think he's still with the team, and if we end up trading him, he's going to go someplace and just be amazing. So I don't want that. But at the same time, I need to see something. We now have the most expensive offensive line in NFL, or in the NFL. I apologize. I was about to say in NFL history, but that's definitely not true. At least I don't think so. Interesting stat if that's true. But regardless, super expensive offensive line. We need them to block. I need to be able to establish a run game because that's what Dave Canales is known for. Dave Canales is known for doubling down on run games. So if we can't establish the run, how are we going to open up the pass through play action? How are we going to get the ball deep? All of these things need to be figured out, and they need to be figured out ASAP. Okay? You hear me, Dave? I hope you do. I hope you hear me.
I mean, as a former wide receivers coach, how would you rate Shy Tuttle's hands?
Oh, beautiful. There was no second catch. It was a clean catch, and then he transitioned right away into a ball carrier. Guys got in front of him, and like great play from Shy.
Dave, last year this team somewhat struggled with like the scramble drill. We saw Mingo come back to the ball like it's very stiff here. What's the coaching point there?
Yeah, we love emphasizing scrambles, whether it comes up in 7-on-7 or any other drill right there. You know, the thought that I have in my mind is always there are great plays out there. There's more. There's explosives that can happen on the second part of the play. Vice versa, defensively, training the offense, extending those plays trains the defense. You have to continue to cover beyond your original assignment. And so then all of a sudden, it kind of, whether you're in a zone scheme or a man scheme, once you get to scramble, it's all man. So you find work in your area and you plaster, you stay sticky to the guy in your area. So we train the whole group that way to respond. And it's a conditioning thing too, you know, because those plays can extend into 10-second plays, 12-second plays sometimes, you know, depending on the quarterback you're playing. So it's a part of who we are. We love training that, you know, and you know, I'm while I would like to see the ball come out in time in those situations, sometimes we get a win on a rush. Sometimes things happen and all of a sudden you got to go to the second play.
And that is something that I think is going to be hard, especially early game or early season. I think Sanders is a great after the first guy or after the first play, part of the play. When he's talking about the second part, he's talking about these are your established reads or whatever you're going to do. And then it's going to either break down from there and then everything else is going to change immediately. So I could see Sanders being a great asset in that. I could see Brooks being a great asset in that. And both of those guys I expect to be with our team for a long time, assuming health stays with them. But right now we need to see them complete like drives. I need to see like a 10-12 play drive on occasion because I don't think we're going to be able to get a whole lot of 5, 6, 8 play drives for touchdowns. Maybe for field goals, but touchdowns we're going to have to hope for a blown coverage or something like that. We are really, really, truly rebuilding, guys, and I hope you guys are ready for accepting that fact because this is going to be a tough year for Panthers fans who are expecting a 7, 8, 9, or even 10 win season because I just don't see it. But I could also be wrong. We shall see. Season is literally right around the corner.
You wait until after tomorrow to kind of make a determination of what you're going to see Saturday night?
Absolutely. Again, it's kind of, you know, as we get these practices, you know, we have an awesome opportunity tomorrow with the joint practice with the Jets. And so as we come out of these practices, the health of the whole group kind of determines who we can play and who we can't. So we'll probably, again, just kind of hold off for a couple of days before we make that decision.
Dave, on that topic.
It seems like a lot of the younger coaches, Sean for sure, and I think there's others, have the theory and the approach that the joint practices are the emphasis, and Rennes not going to play starters in the preseason games. Is that where you stand on this, generally speaking, as well.
Hey, I think I'm somewhere in between, and I think especially first year in the system offensively, like I would love to see those guys out there at some point just to get the feel and flow of what the meetings feel like the night before, the prep for the game, and all those things. And so we just have to, for me, I just was like, I don't need to make any declarations about what we're going to do. Let's just take it week by week and make sure we have a good week of practice, and then what can we do that's smart for the whole team in terms of going into these games. So I think I'm somewhere, in between there.
Man, that's how Frank Reich approached it. Man, we're just going to take it 1 week at a time. We're 0-0 this week. We need to earn it, all that other stuff. And that didn't work. So, man, I hope the culture, I hope the juice that you got behind you, Dave, is able to do a lot more than what was done last year. Bryce is, of course, going to be a driving factor with that, and I'm super excited for the year. Week 1 is coming soon, though, my guys. So you got to get this buttoned up real quick.
Joint practices can be kind of spirited.
Yeah.
What's your message to the team ahead of tomorrow's session?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. Obviously the energy kind of heightens when you get to play against another opponent. And so with that, that's a great practice for what it feels like in a game where, win or lose, we have to have our head about us, celebrate with each other, pull each other together, and then go to the next play. So all the stuff in between, like, we can't give the opponent anything. Those things turned into personal fouls. Those flip the field. Those put us in bad situations, and other teams give us advantages. Let's be the one that takes advantage of another team losing it. Let's be the ones who stay composed and are still able to bring that energy with our own guys.
And see, that has been a question that I continually ask. The penalties have continued to be an issue and something that he has wanted to address. So that little snippet was for the guys that keep doing that, the holding calls, maybe DPI or OPI. Like, we really need to get that buttoned up, because for some reason, I got some pit in my stomach or in my chest that tells me that we're going to have a lot of penalties this year. And if that's the case, we're going to lose a lot of games. So that's not what I want to see. Get it buttoned up, Dave. Get it. Come on. We're so close.
As you mentioned, turnover story of the day is second straight practice that's the case. Any red flags for Bryce or the offense from that?
I mean, turnovers are always just something that we want to continue to look at and say, what happened here, and just get to the bottom of it. For me, again, the interceptions happen when we're trying, so I have no problem with that. If we're not throwing interceptions, we're not trying stuff. We're not trying to make those tight throws, and we know NFL football is tightly played. It's tight throws, and particularly with our defense, the way that those guys are just continuing to hone in. We've been playing against each other a lot. They're taking advantage of those ops. So for me, I don't look too far into it other than just what happened on this play, so we can correct it and we can move forward.
Let's ask you, what's this defense like with JC on the field, JC not on the field?
Oh, I mean, when JC's out there, just speaking directly to him, he's really finding his legs. He's finding his feel. It's a guy that needs all these reps, to play his leverage, whether it's the run or the pass game, staying on his leverage, knowing where his help is, knowing when he can take his shots, and all this is just valuable stuff for him. And he's certainly a fantastic player.
Do you have an update?
Yes, he's a fantastic player, but the biggest issue that we have right now, besides pass rush and of course just injuries and the injury bug, is that secondary. Dane Jackson went down with a hamstring injury. JC has a history of injuries, so there's so much there. And I hope, just stay healthy. Everybody stay healthy from this point forward, okay? I don't care. We gotta bless people. Don't care. I was raised Catholic. I'll do whatever I need to. Okay? Just tell me what I need to do.
Wonnum and Barno in their progress.
They're coming along great. I don't have any clear timetables, but I just know that they're working really hard. They're moving around and running, and so we're taking it, day by day, week at a time, and just kind of seeing when they're ready. We'll welcome them with open arms.
Sorry, I was a little late to the press conference. I'll run laps later. But Damian Lewis was back today, but didn't participate. Is he still dealing with a shoulder injury? And is Deontay Johnson a vet day, or what's going on there?
It's more just a conditioning thing with D-Lou. Again, this had a personal deal that he had to take care of for a couple days. We wanted to make sure we can get him out there, take him through individual, see where his level of fitness is at after a couple of days away. So just being smart there without putting him into a competitive setting. And then who? Yeah, Deontay had a mild groin strain, and he's pretty much day to day, so I think, just kind of talking to him, he feels like, there's something there, but I think, he knows his body really well. He's a veteran guy, so we'll just continue ramping him up and increasing his work.
Dave, what have you noticed out of Miles Sanders since he's been here?
Yeah, Miles, man on a mission every day, just working hard, chomping at the bit to get some opportunities to really show us what he can do and really return to Miles Sanders' form. He's a fantastic back, and I'm glad he's here.
Okay, so if you guys have checked out all my videos, I had a theory with Miles Sanders. I could see a scenario where I think we've got him under contract for 4 more years, I believe. That's counting this year. So we go with Miles Sanders as the running back 1, Chuba running back 2, and then we'll go to Brooks 3 at this point. Now, moving forward, Chuba's contract is either done this year or next year. So you would want to get rid of him now because you're probably not going to redo that contract unless he's willing to do it for a considerably lower number. In which case, you probably run 3 running backs. You probably run Sanders, Chuba, Brooks. Obviously, Brooks goes ahead of Sanders and Chuba most likely, and then you figure out who the running back 3 is. But based on monies, it'd probably be Hubbard. Now, we could also trade him, but I think the fan base would also be upset about that. So I really don't know where we go with this. I could also see a scenario where, of course, we just do the easy thing and trade Miles Sanders. But if that's the case, we need to show the rest of the NFL that Miles Sanders is still good to try and get some decent return on it. It's probably only going to be like a 5th or a 6th, but it's something. And it's something that we're hoping that a Michael Barrett or a Chow Smith-Wade, which were picks of that nature, are going to turn into something great. So we just have to kind of keep going down that same hole and praying and hoping we can find some gold.
Your background with Coach Sala, as well as Dee's background with Nathaniel, will that help in terms of keeping emotions in check potentially, or where is the benefit in your mind with that?
Yeah, I certainly hope so. But again, it was really fun just kind of planning the practice with Robert, over the and we practiced against them in Tampa last year as well. So we're very familiar with the format. I think it starts there. The players certainly will feel our energy with each other, but also, we're close friends. There's nothing like, competing against the closest guys that and we have a lot of familiarity with some of our schemes, so it'll be interesting, some of the wrinkles that we throw out there against each other tomorrow. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, of course, thank you to Dave Canales. Thank you to the Carolina Panthers for putting out this press conference. I'm making sure this is going up on Friday ahead of the Jets practice, joint practice with the Panthers at least. Dave gave us exactly what we were looking for. He's telling us about what he really wants to see. Issues are penalties, turnovers, and of course, health. The one thing I've continued to say is that the injury bug has bitten the Carolina Panthers, so do not bet anything on this year. If you are, take unders for so many players. This injury bug is going to keep coming. So this is where you come for the press conference breakdown. Right here, roll coverage. I put them out every day. In fact, I've gone to 2 again. So make sure you drop the follow. Make sure you subscribe on Twitter, everything like that. And of course, if you want to come on, make sure you drop me an email at the Gmail below. I want to talk ball because roll coverage was founded for one reason and one reason only: sports for sports sake, because we don't need a reason to talk about sports. So if you want to follow me around for some more, I'll make sure that I got more coming your way. Otherwise, my name is Nick, host of Roll Coverage, home of the press conference breakdown. Have a great rest of the day. Peace.